Hello, this is Ian Bishop. Welcome back to my 7th game journal. This time I will be covering the economy of Call of War and the strategy behind it. What is Call of War? Call of War is a strategy game based off of World War II. And there are also fictional game modes with fictional nations included as well. However, these game modes are optional game modes and are unlockable as you progress and play throughout the game. The goal of Call of War is to conquer enough victory points through territories to accumulate enough points for victory. Depending on the map size and the map chosen, the amount of victory points required will vary. If one chooses to play solo, the amount of victory points required for victory will be much less than if a player is playing for victory in a coalition. This is to balance and make sure players don't overuse the mechanic of coalitions for trying to defeat solo players. However, winning solo is still very manageable. The economic system in Call of War. The main object that pertains to the economy in Call of War is the player's resources, production, and morale. There are many resources. These resources include manpower, food, goods, metal, oil, rare materials, as well as cash. Behaviors and uses that these resources can be employed in depend on the specific resources itself. For example, these resources can be employed for industry, infrastructure, military, political purposes, training and producing units, and maintaining them, as well as spying for espionage. These resources can also further enhance the economy by aiding urban production. If a player is short on a resource or wants to barter for specific resources without the use of cash, they have the option to do so in the stock market, as well as through personal and private trades. The stock market is handy if the player has cash but is lacking a specific resource required to get a task done. If a player is lacking metal and hopes to produce a troop such as a light tank, then the player can choose to trade for it with another resource with another player, or can buy it with cash off the stock market. These resources are crucial and pivotal to developing a player's economies. Example for how the relationship of all these resources are important can be illustrated by covering what these resources are useful for. For example, manpower is dedicated to unit housing, sustainability, and deployment of such troops, whilst oil may be used for military vehicles and at-home urban economy. Food and goods are essential to maintaining troops' morale, maintaining civilians' morale, as well as being essential to sustaining an economy and a functional military. Goods cover the same purposes and similar uses as food. However, goods are also used for light military purposes, more so than just infantry. Metal and rare materials are essential in maintaining expensive and advanced forms of production in terms of infrastructure and military technologies. These resources are essential for maintaining a functioning economy, and if used successfully, will bolster a nation's morale, which will maximize each province's production, which is essential to maintaining a healthy and successful economy, which further enhances and enables more production, a larger budget, and more influence abroad. The economy is essential for maintaining not just national security and a strong military, but also for having the flexibility to aid allies and to defend and invest when necessary in unprecedented circumstances. Every resource is crucial to the success of a player's campaign in Call of War, and the combination of cash, manpower, food, goods, metal, oil, and rare materials is essential to maximize the success of one's nation and one's growth throughout their campaign. Thank you. That is my game journal for week number 7 regarding a real-time strategy game of Call of War, which covers the economic system that is present and that is employed throughout Call of War. Thank you.